Imagine standing on the edge of history, where the clash of swords echoes across the landscape, and the fate of warriors is determined by the edge of their blades. You find yourself in a quiet, contemplative space, a place of intense discipline and focus. In the distance, you can hear the sound of approaching footsteps. With each step, the earth trembles beneath a warrior who has mastered the art of combat, mind, and spirit. That warrior is none other than Miyamoto Musashi, a man who redefined the very essence of martial prowess and philosophy. His life, filled with duels, victories, and profound wisdom, transcended his time, leaving an indelible mark on history. Welcome to the Unfolding Journey YouTube channel. Today, we will be walking in the footsteps of one of Japan's most legendary figures, the great samurai Miyamoto Musashi. From his early beginnings in a war-torn Japan to his philosophical contributions that have influenced martial artists, strategists, and philosophers for centuries, we'll explore the story of a man whose life and teachings remain as powerful today as they were during his time. Whether you're a martial artist, a history enthusiast, or someone simply curious about the complexities of the human spirit, Musashi's journey has something to offer. Miyamoto Musashi was born in 1584 in the Harima province of Japan during a period known as the Sengoku era, a time marked by constant warfare and the rise of powerful warlords. Japan was divided into numerous factions, and the samurai, warriors skilled in both swordsmanship and strategy, were at the heart of this turbulent age. Musashi's life began in the midst of this chaos, a world where survival depended not only on one's ability to fight, but on the ability to think, adapt, and evolve. Not much is known about Musashi's early childhood, but historical accounts suggest that his father, Munisai, was a well-regarded swordsman in the Ichi-ryu tradition. From a young age, Musashi was exposed to the art of sword fighting. It is believed that he had an early brush with combat when he engaged in a duel at the age of 13, defeating a skilled swordsman named Arima Kihei. This early victory marked the beginning of a lifetime of duels, each one refining his techniques and deepening his understanding of martial combat. Musashi's early life was not only defined by battles, but also by the turbulent political landscape of his time. The Sengoku period, often referred to as the Warring States period, was a time of near-constant conflict between various samurai clans. These internal struggles for power eventually gave rise to the unification of Japan under Tokugawa Ieyasu, whose rule ushered in a period of relative peace, known as the Edo period. However, this peace was hard-won, and Musashi would grow up in a world where battle was a way of life. Though Musashi fought many duels throughout his life, none was more famous than his encounter with Sasaki Kojiro in 1612. This duel, which took place on a remote island, is one of the most iconic moments in Japanese history, and it solidified Musashi's place as one of the greatest swordsmen to ever live. Sasaki Kojiro was known for his incredible swordsmanship and his mastery of the monohashizo, a long sword that earned him his nickname, meaning the laundry pole. Kojiro's reputation was formidable, and many believed that he was the superior swordsman. Musashi, however, was no ordinary warrior. Arriving late for the duel and wielding a wooden sword carved from an oar, Musashi immediately displayed his unconventional approach to combat. This was not just a fight of physical skill, but of strategy and psychology. By arriving late, Musashi had already thrown Kojiro off balance, mentally and emotionally, before the duel even began. The psychological edge was his, and this would prove to be a decisive factor. Musashi's calm demeanor contrasted sharply with Kojiro's intensity, and the duel became not just about two skilled men fighting, but about a battle of wills. The duel itself was over quickly. Musashi, using his dual sword style, struck Kojiro with a single blow, killing him instantly. The victory was not just physical but intellectual. Musashi demonstrated that the true warrior is not only skilled with his weapon, but also with his mind. He understood that combat was not just about force, but about strategy, timing, and mental clarity. His victory over Sasaki Kojiro became one of the most talked-about events of the era, and it served as a testament to Musashi's mastery of both the sword and the mind. Musashi's victory in the duel with Sasaki Kojiro was but one chapter in his long life, and it was not the most important. After years of combat and reflection, Musashi began to understand that his true path lay not just in being the greatest swordsman, but in understanding the deeper principles of combat, strategy, and life. He came to realize that martial arts were not just about fighting, but about self-discipline, mental clarity, and understanding the nature of conflict itself. It was during this period of introspection that Musashi wrote the Book of Five Rings, Go-Rin no Sho, his most famous work. This treatise, which still resonates in martial arts and strategic thought today, outlines Musashi's philosophy on combat, focusing on five key elements: earth, water, fire, wind, and void. Each element represents a different aspect of combat and life itself, and together they form a complete system of strategy. Earth represents the foundation of all things. Musashi explains that in order to master anything, one must start with the basics. A warrior must understand the fundamentals of his craft and constantly refine them. Water symbolizes adaptability. In combat, as in life, a warrior must be flexible, able to adjust to the changing circumstances around him. Like water, a warrior must flow with the situation, not resist it. Fire embodies the intensity of battle. Musashi emphasizes the importance of decisiveness and the ability to act with speed and power when the moment calls for it. Wind refers to the understanding of other schools of thought. A true master, Musashi argues, does not simply follow one path but understands and respects the different methods of others. Void is the most abstract concept in Musashi's philosophy. It represents the idea of transcendence and the state of mind in which a warrior acts without hesitation, in perfect harmony with the present moment. This is the ultimate goal of mastery, to transcend technique and act from a place of pure instinct and clarity. Musashi's philosophical work extends beyond the battlefield. His teachings on strategy and the mastery of the self have influenced not only martial artists but also military leaders, business executives, and even philosophers. The Book of Five Rings continues to be a source of inspiration for those seeking to understand the nature of conflict, decision-making, and personal mastery. In the years following his famous duel with Kojiro, Musashi withdrew from the public eye. He spent the latter part of his life in self-imposed seclusion, living in a cave on the island of Ganryu, where he focused on perfecting his martial art and reflecting on his philosophy. Despite his reclusive nature, Musashi continued to teach, passing on his knowledge to a select few students. He also began to take an interest in other art forms, such as calligraphy and painting. Musashi's understanding of the world was not limited to combat. It was all-encompassing, and his artistic endeavors reflected his desire to express the depth of his inner world. Musashi died in 1645, leaving behind a legacy that would inspire generations to come. His teachings on combat and philosophy became a touchstone for warriors and thinkers alike. His influence spread far beyond the confines of Japan, and his story became part of the global lexicon of leadership, strategy, and personal growth. Miyamoto Musashi's life and philosophy have had a profound impact on both martial arts and strategic thought. His unique two-sword style, known as Niten Ichi-ryu, has been passed down through the generations and is still practiced today. His insights on strategy, which go far beyond the physical aspects of combat, continue to inspire military tacticians, business leaders, and athletes. But Musashi's true legacy lies in his understanding of the human condition. He believed that mastery was not just about defeating others, but about transcending one's own limitations. His life's journey, from the brutal realities of the battlefield to the quiet introspection of his later years, teaches us that true mastery comes not from external victories, but from the ability to overcome the inner struggles we all face. Miyamoto Musashi's life is a testament to the power of discipline, strategy, and self-mastery. His journey from a young, impetuous swordsman to a revered philosopher and strategist reflects the eternal quest for knowledge and growth. Walking in his footsteps is not just about learning the art of the sword, but about understanding the deeper principles that guide us through life's battles. Musashi's life invites us all to challenge ourselves, to constantly evolve, and to seek mastery, not just of our skills, but of our very being. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Miyamoto Musashi's life and philosophy. If you've enjoyed this journey into the world of one of history's greatest warriors, be sure to subscribe to the Unfolding Journey YouTube channel. We'll continue to uncover the lives of legendary figures, philosophies, and tales from across history. Hit that subscribe button and join us as we unfold more stories that inspire and challenge us to grow.